So we don't know if the teaser is coming today, but while we wait, let's talk a little bit about some of the vehicles that got leaked. Today I wanted to talk about, in this video specifically, right, on the L-39 Albatross. A very interesting aircraft that apparently is coming for the Russians as a premium aircraft. So let's talk a little bit about what the aircraft is and the performance and BR that you should expect this thing, at least in theory. So this aircraft is a jet trainer. The objective with this type of jet is to actually help it out a pilot to become more acquainted with the usage of a jet, right? Because jets are much faster and very different from early prop trainers, right? And normally, most of the Air Force, especially in the Cold War, used to use prop aircraft, especially like piston-engined prop aircraft, right? To actually do the initial training of pilots, right? And then they would jump for a jet trainer and then actually jump for the jet that they would actually fly. A lot of aircraft nations did this. Most nations, I think everybody did this, especially back in the day, right? So the jet trainer, the objective is to bridge that gap. So the version that we are receiving is the ZA L-39, which is basically the most advanced version at the time. Ground attack version, right? So basically not only it can do training, but it properly have the wiring and everything that it needs, aiming systems and everything to properly deliver weapons in an attack environment, right? Which means that it is a little bit better than the initial like C models and other models that were basically just a trainer that normally would use only training bombs and rockets, right? And would have like 2 pylons or something, right? So the ZA, it's a properly attack aircraft, of course very light, but it is a proper attack aircraft, okay? The major thing that you have to think about this aircraft is that it is a very tiny aircraft, very small, very light, very nimble, but it's not fast. That's the main thing. If you take a look on the wings and of course on the engine thrust, you will notice that these aircraft, they are not fast. They are not made to be fast. And that's where the BR for it becomes a problem. But let's talk about the performance first, and then we talk about the actual BR. So this aircraft should be a very, very light aircraft, around 3 to 4 tons, probably 4 tons. This is what the number says about the ZA model. It's a little bit heavier than the early models, and it would use the same Ivchenko AI-25TL turbofan engine, which produces around 16.8, 16.9 kilonewtons, which is very weak. It's very weak because of its wing design and its low thrust. It only goes about 750 kilometers per hour, so it's a very, very slow aircraft, okay? It never can exceed like 980 or max 0.8, but at the end of the day, only in a dive, right? Because in normal flight, this thing will never get to those speeds, and it will probably compress a lot in the higher ranges of those speeds in real life as well, right? This aircraft has around 21 meters per second of climb. They say even the ZA should have around 15 to 18 meters per second, so even less because it's heavier and depending on the payload. And in this version specific, it would be a very, very complicated aircraft to balance it out, to be honest, just because of the performance, okay? The only thing that will actually make it be a higher BR than it probably should is the weapon system. So, yeah, what does it actually carry, the ZA model specifically? Well, the majority of the weapons are non-guided stuff for air-to-ground. So it has, for example, the FAB 100s, FAB 250s, it has the S5s and S8 rockets. Stuff like that will be the main armament that this aircraft uses, okay? It has the ability to carry a gun pod under the fuselage, and it would have 4 pylons under the wings to carry these bombs and rockets. So if you only take that into consideration, and if you look at the performance that Russian aircraft have to try to compare and pinpoint where the BR of this thing should actually be, it would be a very low BR. Around 7.0, 7.3, 6.7, around that BR. Yes, it's that bad because it doesn't like to go fast, and because of that, it will suffer a lot, right? But this thing can actually carry missiles. Yes, it can actually carry the R3S and the R60 or R60M, which means that will probably be balanced depending on the missiles that they actually add to this thing. if they don't add any missiles, I think it will be a very low BR. Like I said, from 6.7 to 7.3. If it actually has a form of R3S, for example, it might be higher, like an 8.0 or something. And if it has an R60 or even R60M, then yes, then it would be maybe a 9.0 or higher, right? Hopefully higher. Hopefully, I mean, come on. So I don't think it will receive the R60M. I think on the like max, it will receive an R60. But even then, it is a little bit twisting the aircraft a little bit to get to a higher BR, because this thing will not perform very well against 9.0s and other aircraft. It's a very low performing aircraft in the terms of what we already have on those BRs, right? So it's a very fun aircraft, very nimble, but it suffers. It suffers from having this engine that doesn't really produce a lot of thrust, okay? I mean, can you imagine? It's like less than, like, it's 3 times less, more or less, a little bit more than 3 times less the amount of thrust that the Marut that is coming as an event vehicle has. So that's how low it is. So it's very, very, very low, okay? So just because of that, I honestly believe it will be a very low BR, maybe with R3Ss, but we will need to wait and see. The cool part about this is that there is, I don't know, like 50 countries or more that use this aircraft, something like that. So all the Eastern, like old Soviet countries, I mean, 1/3 of Africa used this aircraft. Vietnam, you know, Laos, if I'm not mistaken, Iraq, Syria, the Germans. I mean, there's so many countries, North Koreans, so many countries that use this aircraft. So it will have a lot of potential to have a lot of skins. And that's the good part about this aircraft, is that it's gonna be very low BR and it has a ton of possibilities of having very cool skins. So yeah, these are it. I know it's kind of low, but yeah, this is kind of what you should expect from the L-39. Again, we have to wait and see, but it's kind of sad, but it's an amazing aircraft at the same time. I mean, it's such an iconic trainer. I know there's a guy very near my city over here that has one as well. So it's just a very cool aircraft that it needs to be added. But don't expect this thing to be too high of a BR, which is a good thing, okay? Because it's supposed to be a very fun and light aircraft that you don't have to worry about too much to actually fly, okay? So this is the L-39ZA. This is what you should expect from the leak that we had. Let's wait and see to see if I get it right or not. But yeah, I see you guys on the next one. Make sure to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, and bye guys, see ya.